Carina Press and HarlequinAudio presents Stand and Deliver by Rhenna Morgan. Performed by John Lane. Chapter 1. Equal opportunity advocates wouldn't know what fair meant if it bit him in the ass. At least not in the world of personal security. It didn't matter how many accolades a person racked up or how much of a badass they were. If the person in question had curves and boobs, you could damn well bet a man would get the job before the woman would. Not that Gia was bitter or anything. Pushing open the scarred black door to one of Lower Greenville's most understated yet popular pubs, she let out a heavy exhalation and forced the patent, bored yet stern expression she used on security details into place. Hanging out at Trident with work associates on a Friday night was the last thing she wanted to endure after her afternoon's turn of events. Yeah, Trident was a cool place. Like a hipster and biker had stacked hands and created the ultimate don't-give-a-damn environment, complete with plain concrete floors, black woodwork, and brushed chrome everything else. Even the bar was made of concrete, perfect for withstanding even the nastiest of bar brawls while still coming off uber cool. And at 5:30 on a Friday night, the place was packed, where the other pubs on Greenville had plenty of parking spaces out front. Up front by the wide windows, a horde of worker bees, dressed predominantly in khakis and polos, were elbow to elbow around a string of four-tops they'd pushed together. All the other tables in the bar were populated by straight-up bikers, who could have cared less about the August heat, so long as they got to ride, hang with their friends, and knock back a few cold ones. No signs of agitation or trouble, at least, not yet. But in another hour or two, that could turn on a dime. Clocking every detail as she wound her way through the bar was pure instinct. Habit born from years clawing her way up in a profession that insisted she didn't belong. Right about now, she'd give a lot to forego it all, pour a glass of Chardonnay, and take a long hot soak in her tub. But hell would freeze over before she left her best friend high and dry with the lot of testosterone-laden meatheads she often worked with. Strolling through the arched entrance to the back room, a wave of mostly masculine laughter hit her right about the time her gaze locked onto the sole woman in the room, Daria Volkova. Or Daria Torin, now that she'd married Knox. With winter white hair and the body of a runway model, most people assumed she was as soft on the inside as she was on the eyes. Nothing could be further from the truth. From the day Gia met her a little under a year ago, Daria had demonstrated a level of tenacity and bravery some of the most hardened military men couldn't have managed. An angel with a deceptively solid coat of armor beneath her porcelain skin. "Hey, Gia." The perky brunette who'd served their table during last Friday night's happy hour popped into Gia's path out of nowhere. The fact that Gia hadn't even seen her coming and couldn't remember her name was a testament to how off her game today had thrown her. "I'm about to make a fresh round for the table. You want the usual?" Another round of laughter swelled loud enough Gia could barely hear her own answer. "No scotch tonight." For a second she paused and considered going with the Chardonnay she really wanted. But the last time she'd ordered wine around these goons, they'd mocked her the rest of the night by drinking their beers where their pinkies lifted. "How about a Corona?" "You got it." The waitress hustled off just in time for Gia to catch Daria beaming one of those sappy love story perfect smiles at her new husband, one that earned her a hungry look back from her man. Okay, so maybe Knox wasn't a meathead like the other security professionals gathered around the table. A techno junkie, maybe, but not a meathead. Come to think of it, none of the men Knox and Beckett called their brothers fell into that category, which made it too damned bad Knox was the only one of the brothers in attendance tonight. They were a whole different brand of males. Confident, brash when they needed to be, but loyal to a fault. And those who'd fallen had an insanely huge soft spot for their women. Now, the ones without women... Well, Axel she pegged as a wild man with a dirty streak a mile wide, and Danny was too soon to call. But Beckett, he was the one she couldn't figure out, though God knew she'd tried, endlessly. And the bulk of those musings tended to kick in at night when her wishful thoughts and sex-starved body entertained a host of fantasies that could never, ever happen.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?